Hey guys, it's Aisha and welcome back. So if you've ever felt like corporate life isn't for you, it's really hard for you to stick to the schedule of a 9 to 5, you feel like you don't have autonomy over your life, you're looking for more stability and safety in the assets and investments you invest in, you feel like you're constantly behind, like you work, and you feel like you have nothing to show for it, then this video is for you. In this video, we'll outline house hacking, which is essentially a way for a beginning investor to get involved in real estate investing. Real estate investing and investing in properties is one of the best ways to build wealth and stability for yourself nowadays, and even the characters on The Office know this to be true.
I don't like to tell a man what to do with his money, but if you ain't investing in property, then you're dumber than a dummy.
I'm not dumb. I'm smart.
Well, buy property. That's my advice.
So I wanted to make this video because my very first video that I put on YouTube is still one of my most successful videos. And I went back and watched it and realized I speak a lot to my personal experience and the motivations that got me into real estate. And I detail some things about house hacking, but I wanted to take this to really go through step by step what house hacking is and how it can really benefit you. So the whole idea behind house hacking is that you're essentially living for free while reaping the benefits of rental income from others to help pay into the equity of your home. So you buy a multifamily property or building, which is essentially a property that is specifically built for more than one family to live into. So think of, a duplex, a triplex, or a quadruplex. So this can be up to a 4-unit building because anything over 4 units is considered commercial and you can't use some of these down payment assistance programs and such in that property. So you buy, up to that 4-unit building, you live in 1 unit, and the theory is the rents from the other tenants you have in the other units cover all of your expenses and essentially allows you to live for free and maybe even cash flow and make money in your property. By eliminating one of the biggest expenses that most people have, which is their living situation, whether you buy a house and have a mortgage or whether you're just paying rent, you're able to eliminate this, and this opens the doors for financial freedom because you can use that money that you usually put toward your living situation to so many other things. Another benefit with house hacking is that there are a number of down payment assistance programs available to first-time home buyers or home buyers with a moderate income to essentially help stimulate people to buy homes. The economy does better when there are more people purchasing homes than there are people renting. So the government and banking institutions will provide these down payment assistance programs so you can put only a small down payment rather than that standard 20% down. So you're putting a lot smaller of a down payment down and it allows you to get into a house. However, these programs don't apply to investment properties or commercial properties, essentially properties that are used for the purpose of making money. People don't want to be funding other people's businesses in real estate investment. What they're trying to do is get people into a house for themselves. And that's a huge barrier for beginners in real estate. Putting a standard 20% down payment, even on like a $200,000 investment property or commercial property, is $40,000, and that is a significant amount of money for someone who's living on a moderate income. So the benefit of house hacking is that up to a 4-unit building is not considered a commercial property, and if you are willing to live in one of those units, the government will allow you to buy that under an FHA program, essentially because they're considering it your primary residence. What this means is that you can use down payment assistance programs to essentially fund your first projects. Again, you can buy a multifamily unit property up to 4 units with an FHA program. So you can put little to no money down on a property and essentially rent out the other 3 units while living in one for free. This is why house hacking has been such a hot topic and so many people have been interested in it because it's essentially a legal loophole to allow you to begin investing. So when you're looking for that property to potentially house hack, obviously you want to find a property that makes good sense financially wise. It's great to start with your realtor because they have access to the MLS, which is where properties are initially listed. And then you can also use tools like Trulia, Zillow, Realtor.com, all of those type sites to also browse for properties. So everyone's goals are different. Some people want to cash flow right off the bat, and some people just want to be, essentially living for free. So even if they break even, you're essentially coming ahead because you don't have that living expense month to month. Whatever your goal is, start researching and looking for properties that fit the bill. Start researching market rents in the areas that you're looking at these properties. Some of these units also might already be occupied, but make sure you really look into what the rents are and if they're below market rent. A lot of landlords will actually undercharge tenants because one, they're either afraid to lose that tenant by raising the rent each year, or they're just not sure what market rent is and they haven't taken the time to actually do their research. So make sure you actually know what that potential is, because that could be a huge value add for you if you find a property that's cash flowing more than what your expenses will be. Another thing to really look at is the condition of the property. If there are some small cosmetic changes that you can make to the house to make it a lot more appealing for tenants and that will allow you to charge a higher rent, that's a great value add, and it's something that you can, fix up within a few weeks and be able to charge that higher rent, which again means more money in your pocket. Once you figured out what your total income will be each month, then be sure to deduct your mortgage and your monthly expenses. A lot of these search sites do make it easy because a lot of these are pre-filled by the realtor or the person listing the site. So a lot of times, not only will they have a calculated mortgage payment, but they will also include, that home insurance and those estimated property taxes in there as well. Be sure when you're calculating your expenses, you also include a line item for miscellaneous repairs or expenses that may pop up each month. A mistake I made early on with one of my properties is that I didn't set a budget that would cover my monthly expenses. I actually estimated it to be too low. So one lovely Saturday afternoon, I was awakened from one of my naps to a pipe bursting in my crawl space. And again, being on a weekend, I ended up having to pay a significant fee for the plumber to come out and do an emergency repair, and it actually was not fully covered by the budget that I had set aside, which means I did have to come out of pocket a little bit. So don't be me, don't make the mistakes I did. Really just make sure that you set aside a decent amount of money per month to cover those repairs, because those things do pop up, and as much as you think it won't happen to you, it does. So once you figured out what your total expenses will be, ranging from your mortgage payments all the way down to your miscellaneous expenses and repair budget, this is your total expenses. So you subtract this from your total rental income, and this is your cash flow. Here's an example of a duplex located right outside the city of Atlanta, and this will actually help us walk through an example. So the listing says that rent ranges from $1,200 to $1,400 a month. I say that maybe, they're selling the house, so they're trying to make it seem a little bit better than it actually is. So let's just be conservative until we know for sure what the market rent will be. So let's say $1,100. When we're looking at a 20% down payment, that's about $988 in what you'll be paying, not only in mortgage, but this includes your insurance and your property taxes. And let's also take into account, let's say we put aside about $100 a month for monthly expenses. So right now we're sitting at a $12 cash flow. While this seems really low, you have to remember that this is essentially the rent from one unit paying for your entire property. So you also should look at what money is going from that mortgage payment into interest versus equity. I would also include that equity as, an asset to you. So let's look at it from the FHA side. So if you look at it from the FHA side, let's still say that our market rate is running around $1,100 a month. So you're bringing in $1,100 a month. But now when we look at putting 4% down instead of 20% down, the estimated monthly cost, because your mortgage goes up because you have more to finance, so that monthly cost jumps from $988 to $1,316. So right now it looks like we are at a loss. Once we include those miscellaneous expenses of $100 a month, it now shows that we're coming out of pocket about $316 a month. But wait, before you write this property off as a bad property, let's think about some things. So there's the opportunity cost. Let's say in this area, me living on my own in a single bedroom, apartment or condo would cost me probably about, low side, probably about $1,000 a month. Here, if we're looking at this duplex, we are coming out of pocket $316 a month. So we're basically saving about $700 a month than we would if we had to go somewhere to rent a property. So again, coming out of pocket, $316 a month is way, way better than me going and renting something and again, paying about $700 more a month just on my living situation. And again, we haven't even covered all of the tax breaks and benefits you get from not only living in a property, but also using it as a rental property. So when you look at tax breaks, as a homeowner, you get to write off a significant portion of your mortgage interest. You also get to take advantage in many states of what is called a homestead exemption, which is essentially a reduction in your property taxes because you live in the residence. Since you're using it as a rental property for a business, you get to write off a slew of things, and that includes your necessary operating expenses. Those range from anywhere from utilities to repairs. So again, with the property that we use in the example, even in the FHA situation where it looks like we're coming out of pocket for our own about $316 a month, you actually will probably break even and maybe even cash flow a little bit. And not to mention, you're living for free while also investing other people's money into the equity of this house, which is great. Who doesn't want to use other people's money to fund your own savings and retirement account and investments? Like, that is just like a dream. So there you have it. That's house hacking. We even provided an example to show you just how valuable house hacking can be and what a great investment strategy, starting off in house hacking for real estate investing can be to achieve financial freedom and again, reduce some of those big expenses that you have in your life that are necessary and a lot of times seem unavoidable. If you were to buy a house and just live in it on your own, paying mortgage, paying property taxes, paying your utilities, making repairs, those are all necessary. But again, if you use a house hacking method and essentially turn your home into a business, you end up saving so much money. And again, you actually reduce the cost of you living there. I have some videos linked below if you want a little bit more information on the FHA program and down payment assistance programs and some updates that they made to the programs in 2019. Check out the video in the link below. I also have a video detailing my journey to buying my first multifamily property using house hacking in the description below as well. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment box below. And then also don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also turn on notifications so you know exactly when my content is released. I release weekly content regarding essentially property investing, real estate investing, and tools to build your way to financial freedom. If you made it to this far in the video, I thank you so much. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys next week.